Well, because it's a Christmas season, I thought we'd have a bit of colour. Anyway, this is a bit of a grim topic, actually. Children as young as 15 in Scotland will start to be able to do the gender reassignment thing, all right? They had kept it up to 18, but obviously they've got to push this wrongness, and so they've reduced it. But we'll get onto that in a second. I did a live stream last night with some ladies from an organisation in Wales called Public Child Protection Wales, PCP. They're doing a lot of good work, because at the moment, I did live stream with them and they tell us all about it. And to be honest, man, I was actually close to being tears, actually. It's another way of putting it. I was so utterly disgusted and gutted. And it was a real black pill. But you need to know this, because they're making great strides and they need your help. And it's coming to us in the UK. And what I didn't realise is that it's been all over the Western-speaking world, and we're some of the last people to get it. Like England is. And Wales has had it a little bit longer, because obviously Drakeford's a bloody degenerate anyway. But this has been in place in Spain for what they've been teaching for years, right? I'm amazed. However, I will put a link in the description for this, for the live stream that I did last night. It was massively informative. But going back to this at the moment in Scotland, and they actually tell you, by the way, that in these schools, they're trying to teach these kids to touch themselves at the age of 4. And that is a good thing, right? But just don't do it in class. And that if somebody else touches you and it feels good, it's a good thing. Not until you're over the age of consent, and at least you're not being corrupted and abused, and it was something you did. Bloody hell. They're trying to teach these kids to knock it out, right? Masturbate and all the other stuff. And part of their safe sex they're teaching them is use anal sex as a precaution. It's all in the video or the live stream. It was harrowing, let me tell you. But back to this and the degeneracy that they're pushing. There's no getting out of this. And anybody who tries to push it or to step up against it, oh my God, they're coming down on top of them. So it says here, extreme caution, majority of the MSPs knock back bid to keep Scotland's minimum age for gender change at 18. Now, bearing in mind that there's things you can't even do until you're 16. And there's things you can't do until you're 18. And yet you can decide your own gender. I mean, here, have a look at this, right? I went on to Young Scott, all right? And apart from the print is awful for a dyslexic, I'm struggling, right? So 5, you can start full-time education, right? At 11, you can get access to Young Scott NEC card. Well, that's over the moon, isn't it? You will be able to make a will, consult a solicitor, and take a case to court. Well, let me guess. If somebody's missed your pronouns, or if mum and dad are stopping you from being absolute wrong, and you can take them to court. You can have the right to decide your adoption. Yeah, get that. Rated films. You can get done for an ASBO. You can access your personal records. 13, occasional work. 14, you can work up to 5 hours and no more than 2 hours on a school day. Driving an electronically assisted pedal bike. Okay, excellent. At 15, you can see a 15 rated film on your own. Let me get this right. You can see a 15-year-old, so you can't see extreme violence and all the rest of it, but you can decide that you want to go down the road of reassigning your gender. At 16, you can get married, enter into a civil partnership, consult a lawful sexual intercourse. I did look, right, what you can do actually at certain ages, and it said you can't buy a blade, you can't buy alcohol, you can't buy this, that, and the other. So I thought you won't be doing the operation yourself, but that's just black humour, isn't it? However, let's go back. They've decided that the Scottish Parliament heard that some people who had transitioned had been left with major regret, and that the plan to lower the limit to 16 should be scrapped, as younger teens may not understand the gravity of their decision. They haven't got a clue. We've raised through modern teachings and stuff, because you weren't allowed to smack your kids, you weren't allowed to discipline your kids, you had to wrap them in cotton wool, they all had to have safe spaces and all the rest of it. They're so mentally behind the times. I mean, don't forget, if you went back to the 39 to 45, or even in the First World War, I mean, First World War, at 14 years old, a lot of these people had pit jobs, or they worked in factories, right? And they went off to war. They lied about their age, and off they went to war to get blown up in the trenches, the poor sods. Very, very naive, but very patriotic. And, you know, when they got there, it was terrible. But these people were getting on to be men because life was shorter then. You had to start earlier and all the rest of it. But what we've done is we've left them in their bedroom playing games, right, and just talking to each other on the internet. They've got no social skills, half of them, right? And now what they're doing from a young age, which watch the live stream with PCP, they'll teach you. They're showing them how to masturbate, right? How to let somebody else touch you, and what this all is feeling good. And what they've also told them to do, which is a key thing. In the old days, if a kid was being abused, they would touch themselves in places that's not natural for somebody who's not being abused, right, to do. And it was a key sign to a teacher or somebody else that there's something wrong there behind the scenes and that you should investigate it because maybe that child has been abused. But they've now taught these kids not to show off those signals in class, which also lets degenerates and paedophiles prey upon these people and are less likely to get caught. And these are all the teachings in school. So, as I say, watch the live stream. But to tell a kid, yeah, you're allowed to make your own decisions. I didn't know what career I wanted to do at 16. I didn't know the direction of my life when I was 16. All I knew is that I liked girls and I was a boy. Life was fairly straight cut then. But now you're telling them that maybe they're quite insignificant, no personality to look at because you've held them back, and you're going to tell them they're now going to be special if they go and get reassigned. Well, they're not going to get laid anyway because they can't get near anything, right? Because they're all too het up, pent up, they've got no social skills. So the closest they're going to get to any sort of, I don't know, recognition is to be a special person and have a label. So off they go and get this done thinking it's going to make them special. Then a few years down the road, all of a sudden they regret it, but it's a bit late now because all the things have gone. Now, I've got friends who are trans, all right? That's their choice. They know what I think about it, right? They know that I think that it's a mental health thing, but they are fine about that. We don't talk about that part of it because they're them. They respect me. They don't force their whatever on me, and I don't force my opinions. We've had the chat. It's done and dusted. That's it. They're very loyal. That's it. However, what they'll tell me is that major, I mean, people aren't treating this properly, so these people go full distance. And a lot of them suffer with depression and suicidal thoughts before. But after, when all the dust has settled and they've become the new person they are, they realise that it didn't fix the problems they thought it was going to fix. And now they're at total despair. And the suicide rate goes through the roof. And I don't want to see these kids go through that. They're ruining their lives already before they start. There's something very dark out there. I mean, yesterday really was a black pill for me. I'm not really over it yet, I have to say. I woke up this morning, I thought, where do we start? What do we do? This is too big. But it's not. It can't be too big. Because we can't not fight this. Because if we do, our kids will be turned into sex pests. And it's just, it's an unfathomable thought. And it's so dark. And why they want it, literally, they're just trying to groom kids. And it's wrong. And if you love your kids, go and have a look at PCP. Go and have a look at the stream. Watch it. I'm telling you now, it's hard going. But watch it and then get involved. Because in the new year, all of that stuff that's going on in Wales is coming here into England. Bad darts. Very, very bad darts. Anyway, look, thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll carry on putting content out as regularly as I can. At the moment, we have a problem. Some days we've got too much content. And if you put out any more than 3 videos on here, it won't let you know that any more videos are going out. So that's a problem. So I might have to alternate it between this and the Simon Evans channel. Secondly, if I put out 3 videos and I do a live stream, you won't get notified for that. So I have to do 2 videos and then a live stream. So what I might end up doing is if it looks like it's going to be a busy day, I might end up announcing at the end of, say, for instance, like today's video, that I'll be going over to my other channel and put a link in the description. I'm not today. I'll do another video on here, but there it is. First world problems. Anyway, thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you soon.